Hello นะครับนิสิตเข้ามาแล้ว sorry just we can have a technical problem here. All right, I hope you guys ready to study for English for career preparation. So today we are responsible for class number 7, right? All right, so first of all, I just want you to check the attendance, right? Let's have a look into the line group and then just write your name and ID student into that line group, please. 1, 2, 3, go go ไปเลยไปเช็คชื่อครับผมall right. So everyone, all right, each of you just zoom in, right? Just make sure that you check the attendance for this class number 7 here. Great. How many of you? Yeah. So I do understand that we don't have any presentation for this week. Is that right? Yes or no? Just type 1 if you say yes, or 2 if you say no. Yes or no? Uh-huh. I guess that there is no, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 done for attendance check for today. I think I will have, okay, good. Thank you. So to those of you who have to do a presentation for this for this week, just raise your hand for me, please. Raise your hand for me, please, because I'm going to let this floor to be yours, all right? And you can share your screen if you're ready here. I think I will have, yeah, someone said that. Great. So if you're ready, I'm going to stop my screen first. And then you can share your screen here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Stop screen first. All right. Okay. Just because someone said that we're gonna have a group presentation for this week, right? So just waiting for your friends to prepare for slide presentation. And if you're ready, just like a share screen here, and then we can have yeah, great. Thank you so much. Good. Just enlarge your screen here for full screen. Yeah, great. Okay. So if you're ready, if some of you ready, a team, a group member here, ready to do a presentation, let's go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. Today, we are going to present you about word formation. Let's start with affixation. Affixation is a morphological process in a word formation where prefix, which is at before the base word, or suffix, which is after the base word, are attached to a base word or root to create a new word with a different meaning, grammatical category, or both. Next. For example, "un" is add to happy to create unhappy, indicating to the opposite of happiness. And happiness is formed by adding the suffix "ness" to happy, denoting the quality or state of being happy. Next.
For the compound words are formed by combining 2 or more individual words or 3 phonemes, the smallest meaning unit, without alerting the spelling or structure of the original word. Next. For the example, toothpaste combine the word tooth and paste to describe a substance used for cleaning teeth. And school teacher merged by school and teacher to refer to an educator who work in a school. Next, here is some more additional example for sunflower. The word one is sunflower, and the second one is flower, a type of flower that follow the sun. Next.
And for the third one is conversion, also known as a zero division or functional shift, involves changing the grammatical category of a word without adding any prefix or suffix. This transformation relies on using a word in a different context or grammatical role. Example is for the noun to verb email start as a noun referring to electronic message, but it has been converted into a verb as in I'll email you the document. And for the adjective to noun is the rich, can be a noun referring to a wealthy individual derived from the adjective rich. Here's an additional example. For noun to verb hammer to using hammer to nail a nail. And adjective to noun is empty. Empty the trash is like make the trash empty.
Blendings occur when two or more words are combined and parts of those words are omitted or fused to form a single word that represents a new concept or idea. Next, please. For example, brunch is a blending of breakfast and lunch, where the beginning of breakfast and the end of lunch are combined to describe a mid-morning meal. Another one is infomercial, blend information and commercial, merging part of both words to describe a type of TV advertisement that provides information about a product. Next, please. So in conclusion, this word formation process demonstrates the flexibility and adaptability of language. Speaker and writer often employ this method to create and express new meanings, thereby enriching the vocabulary of a language. That is all for our presentation. Thank you.
All right. Oh, good. Done, right? For English presentation here, right? Thank you so much for a group presentation or team member presentation here. So yeah, just make sure that you submit me the PDF file into the line group for those who have to do a presentation for today class, right? Okay. And just send me a PDF file in order to make sure that you have done for English presentation in weekly basis, right? Okay, great. Thank you so much, right? Anyone of you didn't check the attendance, you can feel free to check. So let's get start for today class, right? Okay, so just because next week we are going to have the on-site class, just because we're going to do a midterm exam. So basically for this course, I'm going to say that those of you who haven't exempt for this course yet, I can say if you prefer to study for the whole semester, you are asked to attend for a midterm exam and also the final exam, right? So I would say that for a midterm and the final exam, it is required to do such an on-site just because we have to do a test at that time, right? So I would say that for in terms of assessment, the university asks all of you to do a test in at on-site basically. So let's meet to each other again on-site, right? The same room, the same time meeting, and we're gonna do a midterm, right, for the TOEIC test, listening comprehension, and then a reading part for part 5 and part 6. Basically, I just got the sample of exam from the TOEIC test. So it might not be, like a difficult much, I can say. So you can do and just manage your time properly, because you are asked to do just only for 2 hours. I can say it's not at 3 hours, basically just only 2 hours. So if you are running out of time, please make sure that you can finish it on time. So for the test midterm exam is that you can do through the Google form, but the class meeting is on site. That's it, right? Okay. I'm going to give you a detail or explanation again on the midterm exam, right? So those of you who just have to take the midterm exam, don't miss on that day, just because if you miss it, you may have a problem with the grading evaluation here, right? Hope you guys understand. พร้อมหรือยังพร้อมกด 1ครับผม All right, so shall we start for this week, right? Again, right, just because I do understand that most of the students have already exempted for this course. All right, and I would say that just because we have a small student here, I just decided to provide you for such interactive activities. So mainly focus on a speaking ability. Actually, I didn't let this part of to be more discussed much from the previous semester, but I decided that just let you have a chance or a floor to speak up when it comes to have the effective spoken communication here, right? Again, right, just because we're gonna have 2 sessions for speaking activity for the first part. The first part is that think about it. You can see from A and B, right? Choose only one out of 2. Basically, it's about like a life. It's about like cultivation of a positive mindset. Is related to positive psychological state or things like that, right? But basically, you can share the idea based on your own experiences or even what you want to say here. It is like there is no right or wrong, just because this is an open-minded, I can say, and it's not just like specified that if you say something like this is going to be correct or mistake, things like that. But I just want you to share, right? Again, right? Choose only one of 2 from A. How do you think, or what do you think about life is a journey? Okay, life is a journey, not a destination. So basically, it takes a little bit time to reconsider a bit life's journey, just because we have to look at life in a different dimensions, right? So for example, like for a test preparation here, if you say something, or if you see some dimension of test preparation as a journey, it might be okay for all of us to study more and more. For example, like you can learn for some aspect of grammar, you can learn some aspect of vocabulary, and you can practice a listening skill or even a reading skills altogether. Just because it is a journey or the way that you have to achieve for a destination. I do believe that the destination can coming from what you have done so far. Meaning that if we start off with this, the first thing that in the correct way, in the right direction, so the destination is kind of obvious that you are going to set realistic goal or reach into that expectation, right? And second part is that it's the same, but I try to use for some kind of word in a different way. So we can see that what do you think about transformation can often look ordinary. It is a slow process. Basically, we have to understand that changes can happen to our life from time to time, from the previous time, the present time, or in the future time. So I can see that it is about like a transformation that all of you can see how far you have progressed from the previous time until the present time, right? And it takes time. So it means that it is a slow process here. So I just want to hear from all of you that if you choose B here, right? You have to say that what kind of like changes or even transformation that you have been experienced so far, right? Experiencing so far, sorry. And then is that important to you to make it for a better version of yourself here? Is that okay? Uh-huh. All right. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying here. I just let you prepare a bit, right? Okay, just let you prepare a bit for 5 minutes. Maybe it's not cover for 5 minutes or 2 or 3 minutes. If you're ready, just turn on the microphone here and we can discuss and share the idea, perspective, dimension based on your own opinion here, right?
Can I go first?
Yes, right. If you're ready, you can yeah, someone turn on the microphone already. Right, go ahead.
I choose A because I think life is a journey because you can set the exact goal about life. So goal mean destination, right? So you just going through it like a journey and let's see what it take you to.
All right, it's not a destination, right? Okay, great. Thank you so much for your sharing here. You can type excellent into the line group. Just make sure that you type into the line group just because I can check all of attendance through this kind of activity again, right? All right, so one of your friends just said that he does agree with life is journey. Just because in order to make sure that you can reach such an expected goal, even the goal of your life, the purpose of your life, we have to see from a surrounding thing that we have to come up from day-to-day basis. Yeah, someone turn on the microphone here. Thank you.
Hello.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Hello.
Uh-huh.
I'll pick A.
Yeah.
So when I think about like it's journey not a destination, I think it is to because we didn't lead just to achieve the goal. We need to like explore and find new things, not just to achieve the goal only.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your sharing here. Just type excellent into the line group, please. Okay, right. So today we're going to have excellent, right? Everyone can share the idea. You can get an excellent way for this class number 7, just because we are reaching to close to a midterm exam, right? So you can say that everyone is can be prepared for this kind of thing. Next, please, someone turn on the microphone. I can see. Yeah.
Yes. I choose a life is a journey because everybody life has the destined ending like death. So instead of having to face death, you can just enjoy life with your journey. Something like that.
All right. Thank you so much for your sharing here. Just type excellent into the line group, please. Yeah, so yeah, next please go ahead. Yeah.
I choose A. So I think life is often like a journey. It is a journey that filled with countless experience, adventures, or challenge. And the important thing that I think is like life isn't just about reaching a final destination, but it's about the growing of each step along the way. ค่ะ
All right, thank you so much fun, right? Just type excellent, please. Great. All right, anyone want to share, just turn on, feel free to share. There is no right or wrong. I just want to encourage all of you to share your ideas. You don't have to talk long, you don't have to talk short, but just sharing from your own perspective here, right? All right, so some of your friends just say that life is journey, just because we have to step I'm sorry, we have to see the step that we are coming from, or even how far we have come. Is that right? So it is very important to see your life in the positive dimension. Just cultivate a positive mindset and let's enjoy with the life, just because it's all about like we have to see day by day, or even from time to time, right? Great, thank you so much for all of us to share the ideas here. Great. Just make sure that you type excellent into the line group, just because I can check the attendance from interactive activities altogether. Yeah.
I choose the second one. I think the code transformation can often look ordinarily is a slow process is a useful perspective. It reminds me that change does not always happen instantly. Instead, meaningful transformations often develop gradually through consistent effort.
Great. Thank you so much for your sharing here. Excellent, please. Right. So one of your friends just chose. He has chosen a transformation, right? Even it's a kind of slow process, but it takes time, and then it can be a proof for all of us to see how far we can progress, or if we did or we have made some mistakes from the previous time, so we can look back and then just see for the further step that we can see our transformation in the next process. So it's all about the next step that we are going to see, and step by step. Is that all right? Great. Thank you so much for sharing that. Great. Yeah, please.
Can I?
I
choose B. I think transformation can often look ordinary is a process, but I think it's a solid process. Gradually, let us learn to change, know what something is truly like.
I see. Great. Thank you so much for sharing. And just type excellence, please. Okay. So one of your friends just see that the dimension of transformation is that what happened to all of us in realistic world, right? Just because it's all about changes. But anyway, we have to see from changes can be a positive side or even negative side too. What we want to achieve is that we have to make sure that we are going to in the right direction here. Great, thank you so much for your sharing here. Anyone want to share? Just feel free to share, right? First of all, you can turn on the microphone first, and then you just talk, and then share. There is no right or wrong. I just want to hear and then see some perspective here. All right, everyone. Let me check first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 students done for the excellent here. Excellent student. That's great, right? Okay, good. So I do understand that all of us are enough for the first activity here. just because we have a different dimension toward our life, right? And then this is a broad or general overview, the topic that has been discussing so far. So let's move to the next step for a core course instruction. It's about talk and share, but it seems to be a detail and explanation for everyone that you have to do a discussion part from the TOEIC test here. So here, this is the concept of creative thinking or even critical thinking or thinking skills, right? That can be put into, the time that you can prepare for a test preparation here, especially when it comes to have the TOEIC test, right? So you can see from 3 following questions here, it's all about critical thinking skill, creative thinking skill, or thinking skills, right? I just highlight in each keyword, right? From maybe the first question, second, and the last question here. So you can see that the core concept of critical thinking or creative thinking here play such an important role toward TOEIC test preparation. So I just want to hear for some of for some of you to share the ideas in order to deal with this kind of difficulties or even challenges that can happen in the TOEIC test. So look at for the first question here, we can see that how does the creative thinking matter in the TOEIC test preparation? Do you think it is relevancy or even any reason why that we have to use it? We have to use critical thinking or creative thinking in the TOEIC test preparation. And how does the creative thinking enhance language proficiency and add in the personal touch to the responses, right? Thereby setting the test taker part. Is that important for preparing such a TOEIC test? And then you can use thinking skill when it comes to the test of grammar or vocabulary in context here, or any kind of approach or section that you are going to see that it might be a little bit challenging or difficult, right? Just share the idea from your own perspective here. Second, we can see that while critical thinking accommodate logical reason, creative thinking, and also encourage innovation or unique problem-solving approach. So the keyword here is that it's all about reason, all right? Logic, reason, thinking, problem solving here in the, to the context of TOEIC test preparation, and how does creative thinking enable test taker to generate the idea, the general idea, the original idea in a writing, talk, and speaking prompt. I can say that for a second question, it deals with maybe a different dimension from a TOEIC test preparation, just because we have to see that writing talks or speaking talks might be important role to use such kind of like logical or reason to what we are going to say or even what we are going to write here, right? So basically, do you think it is important for writing and speaking skill? If you choose the second question, you have to deal with the perspective of writing or even speaking here. I think it might be important too, even we don't have to do for the TOEIC test, but I do understand that it is very important for the real life that you are going to write something or even effectively speaking what you are going to convey to others, right? The last question, we can see that how does creative thinking skill, creativity. So we can switch from critical thinking. I mean, for this question, it is exploring the idea that how can you put creative thinking into practice, right? How does creative thinking skill allow you to think outside the box? So maybe this one is a keyword for the third question here. Is it important to think outside the box, or it is important to use it in reality, or what you can share that thinking outside the box can enhance or improve your thinking skill too? So for the TOEIC test, I would say that just because you have to experience or see for some variety of vocabulary or synonymous word, synonyms, antonym, or even context clue from vocabulary expansions here, right? Or even some kind of complicated sentence structure, for example, advanced grammar, conditional sentence, inversion, or whatever related to the grammatical features here. And it's important to you to present that thought or ideas in engaging and impressive manner. Just because if you use creative thinking, you might showcase yourself into a manner of professionalism, right? So I would say that it's important or not to do so, right? Again, right, from 3 following questions here, it deals with different perspective. So be careful to choose one of 3 first, and then just share the idea to all of us together. There is no right, no wrong again, right? I just want you to share the idea. And I would say that I'm going to let you prepare a bit for 5 minutes. And then if you're ready, just turn on the microphone here. Yeah. All right, everybody. I have to say that some of you may ready, right? Again, right? Just choose one out of 3. So for this part of discussion, I can say that it's a little bit detailed, but I would say that it can be applied to your, preparation for the test. And if you have anything to share, just turn on the microphone here. Yeah, 1 or 2 or 3. It depends on your preferences. All right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, great. Thank you so much for turning on the microphone here. Go ahead.
I should the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I think creative thinking skill lets me break from the way I used to. It's around for the generation of new idea and
Mm-hmm.
make something I do more outstanding, such as making the sentence more engaging with a suitable tone of voice for writing tasks.
All right. Thank you so much for your sharing the ideas. Yeah, just type perfect into the line group, please. All right. So yeah, one of your friends just showcased that creative thinking skill can be such innovative thinking, and that it serves you to be more interesting and I mean like engaging to the real talks, especially when it comes to have effective spoken communication or even written communication here. I can say that thinking outside the box is one of the most important things just because we have to deal with the unexpected situation that happen from time to time. And all of you are the Generation Z, I can say that the most important skills for you that you can prepare for yourself in the professional setting is that you have to have a skill of adaptability or even innovation. So I can say that if you can process or cultivate the way that you have thinking or process some kind of ability to think in the innovative way, so it might be benefit to all of you in the future. Right. Thank you so much for your sharing here. Perfecto. Great. Anyone want to share? Just choose one or two or three first, and then turn on the microphone here. Great.
Can
Yep.
I choose third item. So I think creative thinking skill is help us to push boundaries and for the variety of and the using of a variety of vocabulary and sentence structures can make our ideas stand out and help us to step outside the box, present the ideas and engaging the way that attracts and inspires others. So, and it is the key to unlock our limits potential.
Great. Thank you so much, fun. Right. Just type perfect place. Perfecto. Perfection is a key. Just kidding. All right. So yeah, one of your friends here just mentioned that creative thinking, critical thinking, or even thinking skill play an important role towards this kind of equipped with some challenges or even difficulties, especially when we see from the dimension of the TOEIC test preparation. We have to understand that we have to face a little bit more challenging toward the core the core talk of the grammar part or even vocabulary in context, even when it is a part of that easy way that you have to prompt to the task and let the time in the easy way. I mean, like just do it in a little time. For example, like part 5, incomplete sentences, right? We can see that it is a very easy part for the TOEIC test. But when it comes to analyze the idea, you have to put and carefully consider what is the right word into the right blank, especially when it comes to word choices or vocabulary in context. So this means that thinking skill can be put into practice. And if you can process this kind of logic, for example, you can see the relationship between cause and effect. It might be further explore the correct answer from the realm of TOEIC test here. Yep. Great. Thank you so much for your sharing here. Perfect, right? Anyone want to share, just choose first and then turn on the microphone. There is no right or wrong, and can summarize the idea to all of us again, just because we can share and explore together. So we can have three options here, right? The first one is that thinking skills that it put into TOEIC test preparation. Second is that when it comes to have like a productive skills of English user, especially for writing and speaking here, is there any important that we can put logic or even thinking skill into practice here? And the last one is that creative, right? Creativity or innovation, thinking outside the box. What do you think about this dimension or perspective? And then you can share to all of us, to each other here. All right. Yeah, I think it's sufficient. All right, it's enough for all of us to share the idea. Maybe it's a little bit challenging or difficult, right? I can say, but anyway, you can see that it is important to to practice, right? And then if you are having thinking skills, it might be easier for you to do the test properly here. All right. พอแล้วนะพอไหมฮะถ้าพอพิมพ์โอเคพิมพ์โอเคก่อนนะ all right all right, so this is a floor and opportunity for all of us to practice such speaking talks. Is that right? Think about it for a general overview here. And then the second part is that I specifically mentioned for the TOEIC test preparation. And then I just want to see some relationship or relevant between thinking skill and then test preparation here, right? So all of us can share the ideas, and all of us done a great job already. Great. All right, so just moving to second part. Okay, so we're gonna have like just because I just want to make sure that you can get the idea from short talk or spoken communication for a listening test. I can say that we're gonna have A, this one, right? B, passage, C, passage. Just only three, right? I'm going to timing for all of you to read this kind of text in just only for 1 minute and see the main idea, right? If you can have the main idea, you just write the main idea into the chat box in the Zoom, right? Okay. Okay, let's timing for the first part. A first, main idea. What is the main idea here? It's okay. Yeah, there is no right or wrong. Just share the main idea into the chat box here, just because I just want to make sure that you can do the midterm exam properly. This is a part of writing test for the midterm exam, right? You have to write the main idea based on the text given here. And I can say that it's a part of TOEIC preparation too. And it tests your ability to think and then evaluate from the text given and then put in a summary way that you are going to get the main idea here. You can type and then we can share the idea together. Right. All right. Great. Thank you so much. So the main idea is to announce information to the passengers, and the content include information such as rule and guideline. Thank you so much for your sharing here. Just because I just want to make sure that all of you can get the main idea. So basically, for the main idea, right? So you can just focus on the first sentence of that paragraph. But for the listening comprehension, I can say that you just only pay attention or just focus what the first speaker saying something here. So it would be like the main idea. In other words, it can happen too, the main idea in the last paragraph too. But here I think that is about like giving some information. Is that right? So there's a detailed rules or regulations that everyone have to follow, but according to what they are going to do, right? This kind of thing is a very important to make sure that you can get the idea here. Thank you so much for your sharing here. Just type perfect, right? ใครตอบแล้วไปพิมพ์ perfect ใน line ได้เลยนะฮะ Alright, moving to second one, B-boy here. I'm going to timing for you 1 minute, and you can write the answer, the main idea from this part. All right, thank you so much for your answer here. So the main idea here is that contacting for the information, is that right? And tell their contact the details, just take it, including date, age, and prices. Right. Thank you so much for your sharing here. So basically, I just want to make sure again, that's because if you listen, right, we didn't have a chance to practice just because we do it online, right? So I just let you do for homework. If you consistently practice, you can see that what I'm saying here, it might work to some extent for a listening part. I can say that for the main idea for the listening part is very crucial to make it sure that you can get a score. And for this one is that it's about like announcement or even giving such a important information due to details, right? Through the details and information given here. Right, thank you so much for you to type the answer here. Great, thank you, thank you. Moving to the last one, right? Just because we have to practice the main idea and prepare you for the midterm exam too. Great, thank you. Yeah. Next, please, I'm going to let you do for 1 minute. If you finish early, you can type. That's it, yeah. Okay, anyone can write the main idea or context here, right? Just share the idea here, just because it works for you and it can help you deal with the difficulty on the exam. Midterm exam, it should be like that, right? Okay, if you understand the context, I would say that you can be able to do the test properly. Yeah, I think it's enough for all of you. Is that right? I have to say that it's enough. If you think it's enough, just say yes. Yes, please. Okay, right? Again, right? Just because we have to deal with the details or text information here. So I would say that what you have to master or achieve at the first beginning is that you have to find the main idea. Some tip and strategy for finding the main idea is that you have to look at for the first sentence or even the last sentence in each paragraph, and then try to make sure that you got the point of that passage, right? So this is a flaw for all of you to practice such a language and reading skill. But this is useful for the listening comprehension part 4, just because it is very important that you have to understand the main idea, and then you can answer to the right answer here. Yes, right? Okay, let's say like you can practice for more as a homework here. So I would say that I'm going to let you do let's say like I'm going to let you, and this is a part of listening practice, and just because we study online, right, I cannot even turn on the speaker, yeah, because I use it, maybe a technical problem here. I think I should send you the link from the TOEIC test, and then I can specify the question from number 71 until 100 for part 4, talk in a business context, right? I would suggest that what you are going to listen or practice listening here is that you have to practice for 2 attempts. I mean, the first part of practicing is that just practice based on your own understanding. Is that okay? Just because you have to be familiar with your ears, right? And then from a spoken communication in English, you can be familiarized with the pace of English user, native English speakers here. And also that you have to understand the core questions in each part first. This is the way that I can practice based on my learning preferences, right? And the second part is that you have to make sure or recheck and try to evaluate the ability to listen from your TOEIC test for a second time. In this way, I would say that you can see from the type script or even subtitle what they are going to say or what you have done such a mistake, and you can correct it. So let's say like in each time that you have practiced, you can time yourself at least for 15 to 20 minutes, and then you can do it, just because I would say that it's not later than half an hour. But if you can practice at home, you can deal with the time much more than that, right? So I'm going to send you a link and we can go for break 15 minutes here. โอเคไหมเราเบรกนานนิดนึงเดี๋ยวเจอกันประมาณสัก10:20แล้วกันดีไหมนะครับ All right, everyone agree, right? Type 1 for me, please. All right everyone's here right ใครอยู่บ้างครับกด2เข้ามาหน่อย Okay, can we start for the second half for today class number 7, right? So we have to go through the detailed exam, right? Okay, from part 5, just because I have to make sure that all of you can do the test properly here, right? So shall we start for 4, right? Let me check first how many of, okay, great. Can we start for the first and 2 question here? If you got the answer, just type the answer into the chat box, and then we can see how explanation can be explained, right? Okay. First quarter revenue, 45.1 billion, right? From 45 from, meaning that it's up, right? It's up from 44 to 45 billion a year earlier. So this is basically it's for the business context. So we have to see that which one it would be right, the right word into the right blank here. Increased, declined from, expand, add, and rose to. You can type the answer if you got the answer in your mind. I think you should go for deduct here, right? Deduct here. Just because you can see that if we put increase, meaning that it's not that search for from. I mean like basically increase at, increase in something instead. What we need to see is that preposition followed by, okay? Decline from is basically like that, but for this sentence, it's contradict to the meaning of it just because it's up to from 44 to 45 here. So we have to see that in terms of business, we have to understand that the most common word, it would be like rise up, or even rose to, is that right? Rose to is a past form of rise to. So the answer will go for D. Everyone type D for me, please. พิมพ์ D มาเลยครับ Next, please. Okay, moving to second question here. We can see social nesting bird that built, then nest in the trees and on a cliff, right? So basically what we need to see is that the sentence structure, which is deal with, you know, subject and verb agreement. Is that right? So what we need to see is that subject plus verb. So what is that actually? So we can see that this one is that the noun, right? Social nesting bird. So what we need is that subject plus verb. So the answer we go for most stocks are. Is that right? Just because we need subject plus verb. ตอบ C นะ Everyone type C for me please เริ่มยากแล้วนะเพราะมันใกล้ midterm. All right, so you have to pay attention a bit just because I don't think that it might be easy math, but I would say that it's a little bit challenging to some extent just because all of you can deal with a better score in the TOEIC exam, right? Next, please, moving to the third question here. My line manager wants the meeting. So basically, if we see that this is kind of like advanced structure. Basically, if you put something that wants plus 2, want to do something, but here we can see that want put an object here, meaning that we have to focus on the object. It means that to all of you that we have to find out this one would be past participle. Past participle refer to verb 3 or verb ed. Is that right? So we have to look at what would be possible answer here. Ed, just the only one here. Understood? Everyone type C for me, please. C นะ C ยากนะอยู่นะฮะAgain, right? Just because when we look at the first glance, right? Want plus 2, this is basically, right? Basically form of I just want to do something here. But here we have to shift the focus on the sentence structure just because we can see that the meaning is kind of specified the main, you know, concept here. So it go for past participle, right? So what we need here is that verb 3 or verb ed here, arranged would be and the most fit for this blank. That's it. Next, please. Question number 4. Before starting on the sea voyage, right? Prudent navigators learn the sea sharks, blah blah blah, and then memorize lighthouse location to prepare themselves for any conditions they might encounter. Yeah, so basically what we need here is that the concept of parallelism or parallel structure, right? Basically, if you put ing or gerund form, you have to follow by the gerund, respectively. In other words, if you put verb to be to infinitive here, right? Or without infinitive without to prudent, to learn, to see, to whatever here. But here's that it's kind of like infinitive without to. Is that right? Just because we can say like learned and then something here and then memorize without to. So what we have to see is that which one would be the without to. So the answer will go for B boy. Is that right? Great. Thank you so much for your sharing here. You can type B if you wish to do so. พิมพ์ B แล้วใกล้ midterm แล้วมันก็จะแน่นๆหน่อยนะ everyone's yeah, you are in the same page นะครับตามทันนะ moving to next. All right, so we can see from this question, he is excited about the new promotion and look forward to. So this is the kind of expression, right? Idiomatic expression or, phrasal verb. So basically looking forward to plus noun or ing. Is that right? And then we can see that the possible answer here might be deal with ing at the same time, just because it's considered as a gerund or noun here. So what we need to see is that taking on and taking in, which one would be the most fit for this blank? I can say taking on is that responsibility, responsible for, but taking in, it means participate. So the answer we go for A. Everyone type A for me, please. พิมพ์ A นะฮะพิมพ์เกรดลองพิมพ์เล่นๆอยากได้เกรดอะไรลองพิมพ์มานะฮะ Okay. Next, please. I think versatile performer, soprano, right? Gretchen Battle has often included a program of art, song, and areas, right? A selection from ragtime and popular music. So basically, for this one is that it has the ability to put an article. So, right, an article. When we look at indefinite articles, so we have to say that if a common one we use A, right? But if a specific we use an or the, things like that. So for this one, I would say it's about like a general. Is that right? So the answer we go for A. ตอบ A ครับพิมพ์ A เลยพิมพ์เกรดครับลองพิมพ์นิดนึงนะเดี๋ยวเราไม่ทันนะโอเคเพราะมันเริ่มแบบ challenging นิดนึง Okay, next please. Moving to question number 7 here. The flight arrived Tokyo in 3 hours. So this is a simple form, right? Just because we have to put the right preposition into the right blank here. Basically, I would say that for dealing with the kind of like a series of prepositions, right? It's a little bit challenging to some extent. So you have to be familiar with this kind of context. But here it is easy for you just because you can see Tokyo. It seemed to be Bangkok or KL, things like that, right? So what we need here is that in Tokyo, right? Or in Bangkok instead of into. Again, right? Just because we can see that into might be specific location or into something, inner something here. Specify the location that is maybe specific location, for example, at the street, things like that. And on here might be, common found in a various contexts too. So the answer we go for arrive in. Everyone type A for me, please. พิมพ์ A นิดนึง A ลองพิมพ์เกรดครับไม่ยาก Okay, next moving to question number 8 here. Who was the first black woman to run for the office of the President of the United States since 1972? Basically, for this sentence structure, you have to understand that this one who, which, that, it is a relative pronoun or relative noun or adjective describe something here, right? So what we need here is that we have a full sentence, which is composed of subject and verb. Is that right? Subject and verb, and then plus a noun here. I would say that when we consider from the sentence structure, it must be, it was Shirley, right? It was, just because we need subject and verb here. Everyone type B for me please พิมพ์ B ครับรอบนี้พิมพ์ B นะไม่ต้องพิมพ์เกรดนะฮะNext please go ahead. Question number 9 here, right? Property taxes. So we can see like taxes is deal with a business context just because it is a sample of TOEIC exam, right? About 40% of overall, right? Overall tax revenue to the state collected. Good. So basically we have to see the possible answer first, just because when it comes to be closely meaning of it, so we have to look at the sentence structure in order to make sure or specify the right word into the right blank here. Make about, is that possible? No, I don't think so. Or at least about is possible for some reason, right? Raised by. So basically for this one is that it falls for passive, right? Passive form. I would say that if we focus on the things that is very important, we can see that the object or such an abstract thing, it might go for abstract form, but here we can see that I don't think that it go for a passive form. So we deal with an active form, basically, right? So I would say that just because it talks about money, account for seem to be most fit for this blank. Everyone type D for me, please. พิมพ์ D นิดนึงฮะ D เลยนะฮะวิกนี้ยากนิดนึงนะใครแบบไม่ทันต้องทวนเลยนะฮะ you have to review เพราะมันใกล้midterm แล้วนะฮะข้อสอบก็จะ progress นิดนึง right moving to next I would say coal, what is that? Resemble iron and nickel, tensile strength, apparent, blah, blah, blah. So we can see that this one would be like parallel structure, the same, right? We have got now, and then we have put and plus now here. Which one is and? So the answer we go for D dot here. It's not that hard for all of you. Just type D for me, please. พิมพ์ D เลยพิมพ์ D เลยนะฮะ D เลย You can type the answer to everyone. There is no right or wrong because I can specify the right and correct answer to all of us together. Yep. Moving to next, right? 11. Question number 11 is that please place over there and then phone reception to let them know that they have arrived. Please place. So here we got an object here. Is that right? Object them would be the answer. Type C. Type C เลยนะฮะ iPhone 15 นะรู้สึกว่าเขาจะเปลี่ยนเป็น Type C แล้วใช่ไหม iPhone 15 เนี่ยmove ครับ Next please. The annual report will be submitted in its entirety at the next week board meeting at the headquarters. So basically it deals with you know, what is that? An adjective, is that right? And we got superlative form. So what we need here is that est. So the answer must be the largest annual report here. Everyone type A for me, please. พิมพ์เกรดเลยครับพิมพ์เกรดง่ายๆนะเร็วๆเลยนะ Alright, moving to next please is that question number 13 here. We can see that maintenance are requested that employees place link what is that? Catriate to be disposed of in the container. So we got now here, right? So what we need here before now is that an adjective. Basically what we have to understand about the adjective, just because the form of adjective can be found in different way. For example, like it can be ended up with ing, right? Present participle, or even it can be past participle ed or verb 3, or even it can be a form of you know, a basic form of an adjective which we can consider from the suffix, right? For example, separate. separate, ATE, appropriate, things like that. So what we got here is that just a simple version of an adjective here, describe a noun here. So the answer we go for D dot here. พิมพ์ D ครับ พิมพ์ D. Next, please. I can say that our 14, right? Our year-end figures are time-consuming to calculate, and we always blah blah blah, right? To submit them online. Basically, what we need to see here is that verb one or the action verb, is that right? Just because we got adverb of frequency, always, normally, or things like that, habituation that happen from time to time. What we need here is that verb, right? Verb one, basically struggler, not a verb, struggle, struggling, or struggle. So I would say that the answer we go for B boy. พิมพ์ B เร็วนิดนึงนะจะได้ปิดไวๆ Moving to question number 15 and 16 here. If you got the answer, you can type the answer here. She was consulting with someone in her office when she was blah 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 by ringing telephone. Basically, it deals with two sentences, right? We call combination of sentences or compound sentences. What we need to see is that when here, and the first sentence using was consulting, which is referred to past continuous tense, and this one is it can specify for by as a passive form. What we need here is that past participle, so it go for interrupted. Be by here. Him be. Is that right? So the rest is not the correct answer just because it doesn't fit in terms of sentence structure and the meaning in context here. Next, please. The candidate spent enough money to attract the voter during the recent election campaign. A, exactly, exorbitant, exerted, and then extended. I can say that what we have to see or reconsider is that which one can be described the right answer here. If you can see that if you put the important towards spent, meaning that the blank is it needs for an adverb, is that right? But if we look at the whole sentence, it must be deal with amount of money here. It seems to all of us that we have to put an adjective that is describe amount of money here. So the answer we go for exorbitant. Everyone can type B for me, please. พิมพ์ B ครับจำให้ได้นะเพราะมันเร็วมากนะฮะโอเครีบๆเร่งๆเร็วๆไปครับ Next, please. A new photocopier for the department can be purchased, right? As soon as possible form are submitted, blah, 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 not before. I can say that for this sentence structure, it deals with the meaning in context, right? Just because we cannot even put the right structure here, but we have to translate into the appropriate meaning here. I can say that for this one is that not before. Is that right? But not before, just because these sentences is a little bit contradict to each other. So I would go for but. Everyone type C for me, please. Next, please. All right. 18, factory workers often work together in pairs with a blah, blah, blah responsibility to keep the line moving. Basically, what we have to focus here is that responsibility, and the word before that is that an adjective, right? So we have to identify that responsibility here is that a person or thing or abstract thing, right? So if a person, we have to see like something that deals with a person, but if it is an abstract thing. So what you need to see is that which an adjective that can be fit into that noun, right? Mutual responsibility, partner responsibility, relative responsibility, or couple responsibility. So that is make sense to all of us that A would be the answer, right? พิมพ์ A ครับเหลือกี่ข้อเนี่ยสองข้อสุดท้าย All right, so we have come to the last section for incomplete sentences here, right? I can say that for the question 19, patrol who wants a refund to exchange must make a request at a customer service center within 1 month, blah, 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 the date of purchase. So we deal with preposition in this context, right? So just look at the right answer here and then rethink, reconsider again and again. The answer will go for A, from. Is that right? พิมพ์ A ครับจะจบแล้ว Audience members to switch off the electronic devices if they attend any of the presentations scheduled throughout the conferences, right? So basically, we have to understand the sentence structure, which is related to conditional sentence or if clause, right? Basically, the form is different. So we can say that if they attend, it fall for the like a present, right? So what we need here, it is possible to be a model form or even future, right? Simple future here. But when we reconsider about the meaning and context, it means that it happens to reality, and it's a kind of like commander. I mean, speech act, which is very important to make it sure that it go hand in hand. I would say that if they change any presentation here, so what we need here is that the obligation or must to do so. So remind is that the correct answer here. Everyone type B for me, please. That's it. Clear ไหมฮะ clear ไหมเอ่ย clear พิมพ์ clear นะโอเคเคลียร์ครับผมอันนี้เป็น advance ทำไหมเอ่ย inter มนุษย์อิงทำเป็นการบ้านแล้วกันได้ไหม homework ไหมฮะ homework พิมพ์ HV homework ฝากไปทำนะเผื่อเจอในข้อสอบเทอมฮะนะอันนี้ส่งนี้5 ข้อนะครับ skip ไปเลยแล้วกันฝากไปทำนะครับso that is your turn, right? I'm going to timing for maybe 3 minutes, and you have to finish 1, 2, 3, and 4 from the text completion. Again, right? Just because for this part it deals with the reading comprehension and then grammar skill or vocabulary skill, right? So what you need to do is that you have to take time, and once you finish, you can type the answer. Let's say A, B, C, D, right? And then we can learn and elaborate for explanation again and again. Yeah. เดี๋ยวให้เวลา3 นาทีนะครับใครเสร็จแล้วเนี่ยลองพิมพ์คำตอบเข้ามานะฮะเดี๋ยวอาจารย์มาเฉลย All right, anyone can answer the answer here. So what we have to see from this kind of text completion is that we have to understand the main paragraph, the main idea in each paragraph first. So first of all, we have to deal with the first paragraph first. Notice or parking notice, right? Parking along the street and for direction downtown area. Downtown is means city, right? The city area is prohibited every second and fourth Tuesday in the in the month of between 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. for a cleaning. So the reason is that it's prohibited or it's closed just because it's going to have like cleaning, right? So what we need to see is that the effect or the consequences of the causing from a cleaning, right? So what we need to see is that after that previous sentence that we have to deal with the effects of cleaning, right? Okay, so let's look at the possible answer here. We can see that the city had the adjust parking rate every 2 months. The city sanitation vehicle and crew will be working on a road day during this time. Sanitation is mean cleaning, right? So we have to see that possible or the same meaning here. And regulation has been implemented to reduce weekend traffic, or there are several ways to that you can pay for free parking. So the answer will deal with cleaning. So I would say that the answer will go for B boy here. Is that right? Everyone type B for me, please. So when we look at the possible answer for a second question here, receive, receivable, and receive. Basically, the form of the word would be the same root, right? But it shifts into a different part of speech here. So first of all, A is considered as a noun. Second, receive would be verb, is that right? And receivable an adjective, and receive would be verb, but it depends on the agent or the subject of the sentence here. I can say that we have to look at the sentence that what we need here. All right. So basically, when we see from the first paragraph, anyone who violates this rule will be ticketed, right, and a charge of $15 penalty for the first 3 offenses. This must be paid within 30 days of here must be plus VAT and now. Is that right? So what would be the answer here? Receive, is that right? Okay, so everyone type A. I think A ครับ อันนี้เป็นข้อสอบ midterm เลยนะ All right, next please. So basically for dealing with text completion, I would recommend and I suggest for all of you that you have to glance for the possible answer first and then just deal with the paragraph mentioned. Okay, so here we can see that for the third question, deal with the appropriate or suitable vocabulary in that context. Okay, so meaning that you have to see that which one is makes sense, which one is not. Flexible, an adjective here, technical, exemplary, and subsequences. Basically, the form is the same, right? It is an adjective. So what we need to see is that what is the noun after that adjective, right? It must be, dealing with the same meaning or a proper context here. Go ahead. So we can see from the text completion here, you have to read again, right? City status schedule permit vehicle owners to challenge a ticket validity within the same 30-day period of the owners may make an appeal if they disagree with the outcome. On violation, basically what we have to see is that violation must be fit in what way? Is that flexible violation? Is that something here, right? Okay, violation meaning is, it seems to me that it go for a negative one. If you put flexible, it would be positive, right? Technical is neutral, exemplary or subsequent. So we can see like the most fit for this blank is that subsequent violation. Everyone type D from your place. And D แล้วฮะ D สองมิดเทอมนะจะประมาณนี้แหละนะคิดว่าเราทำได้ All right, so for the last one, For the last one, we can see that the possible answer first, lead, led, and then leading, right? Basically, the root form is the same, lead, led, is that right? But it shifts to a differentiation of now, like word forms or word part of speech here, right? So we can see that the same, but it depends on what we are going to see, the grammar part or grammatical feature here. Okay, so I would say, I do understand that on blah 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 vehicles will be told at the owner expenses. Repeated negligent could also. So what we need here is that infinitive. Is that right? Just because we got model form plus infinitive to suspension of a driver license. Basically for the infinitive, there is nothing add up to that the form, right? Okay. So I would say lead ต้องเป็น lead แหละ all right everyone type A for me please all right everyone is okay right okay ประมาณนี้โอเคไหมฮะโอเคพิมพ์อะไรดีพิมพ์โอเคแล้วกัน ไปทำ vocab ดีกว่าฮะ now we have come to the last session for today's class. I'm going to let you for 10 minutes, right? Dealing with the vocabulary expansion for 30 word given here. So for this week, we deal with the sample TOEIC vocabulary here. What you need to do is that just find out the synonymous words. I would say that you have to do so just because if you wish to master your English vocabulary, you need to do so. Investigation, intention, invaluable, interruption, inventory, invoice, isolated, itinerary, issues, and identity. What I want from you is that you have to specify or see the part of speech first, and then just find out the same or similar part of speech. For example, like if you say that isolate, invoice here, it can be possible for noun or verb, is that right? And you can remark that it is possible if you find out the synonymous word, which is a noun, so you can put here. But if you think that invoice might be a verb, so you just put it, right? Just make sure that you find the same part of speech here, just because it might be a little bit tricky when it comes to a TOEIC test here. Moving to 7.2, we can see Julius, start with J, right? Jeopardize, journey, justice, justification, jobless, knowledgeable, keen. So this one might be like a must plus with preposition. For example, keen on something here. Is that right? Journal, right? And judgment. Again, right? Find synonymous word here. And when you finish, we can go to before. We go. One more. Labor, leisure, layoff. Okay, basically for this one, it's very important to see first, just because it deals with phrasal verb. Is that right? Two word that put together. For example, layoff, it means that you don't have to work, or you just repair on something here, right? Yeah. So basically, you need to see, for example, postpone, or even like something that is similar to that word, right? I would say that you can consult from the dictionary, would be possible for you. Liability, lobby, luxurious, legate, lease. This one is very important too, just because it can happen to be verb and noun. Lease, leasing, right? Lease as a verb, lease as a noun. So what you need to reconsider is that you have to make sure that the word you find out might be suitable to each other, right? Love or like. All right, I'm going to timing for all of us for 10 minutes. Is that okay? Once you're done here, you just type done, 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 or done 3 times. ให้เวลา10 นาทีนะครับ แล้วก็เดี๋ยวเรามันทั้งทำ before we go All right, thank you so much fun, right? So I hope you guys ready to leave from the Zoom, right? We have come to a final part of our activity here. Again, right, the core instruction and the instruction is that you have to deal with collocation, verb, and expression with preposition here. And you can see that you're gonna have like three options here. The first part is that had run out of money. Okay, so you have to create a meaningful sentence based on had run out of money. First of all, you need to look at the literal meaning first. I mean, just because it is idiomatic expression, is that right? So meaning that it's not that straightly translate into the right word. If you choose second question, filled with horror, or burst into tears, you have to come up with the first phrase and the second one too, right? And then put the conjunction or even connecting word here. And if you choose, you have chosen third question of the last sentence, drive anybody to crime. Basically, for this meaning is that it means to be a negative connotation, I can say. So if you create a meaningful sentence, be careful that your sentence must be deal with negative sentences here. I hope you guys understand, right? If you're ready, just turn on the microphone and then talk.
Can I go first?
Yep.
I choose number 3. So the sentence is extreme poverty and lack of opportunities can sometimes drive anybody to crime in their quest for survival.
All right. Thank you so much for your sentences, right? See you next week on site. All right. Everyone have to see on site just because next week we are going to take the midterm exam. Everyone agree now? All right. Next, please.
Hello, can I?
Yep.
I choose number 2. The sentence is, this movie is filled with horror and can make you burst into tears.
Great. Thank you so much. See you next week on site. Next, please.
Can I?
Yep.
I pick the first one. The government program had run out of money without any warning.
Great. Thank you so much for your sentence. See you next week on site here. Next, please. If you want to leave from the Zoom, right, create a meaningful sentence here and then talk, and you can go leaving. Yep.
I choose number 3. This person can drive anybody to crime.
All right. Thank you so much for your creating such a meaningful sentences. See you next week on site then. Midterm exam. All right, all wrong, all right, right?
Can I?
Yep.
I choose number 1. He he had run out of money, and I saw him ask his mom for more money.
Great. Thank you so much for your sentences. See you next week on site.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Yep. Next, please. All right, all right, all right. Anyone want to say something here? Just put 1 or 2 or 3 and then top.
Can I?
Yep.
I choose number 1. My friend had run out of money because she bought a car.
All right. Thank you so much for your sentences. See you next week on site. Yeah.
Okay, next.
Yep.
Bad behavior was enough to drive anybody to cry.
Great. Thank you so much for your sentence. See you next week on site. On site. Then next. All right. I hope you guys, I do understand that everyone finished and done for this kind of activities already, right? All right. So I have to say that thank you for all of us, and I have to finish a class just only this. See you next week on site midterm exam. Bye-bye.